In fact, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has also met with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi today on the sidelines of the SCO Heads of State Summit in Astana in Kazakhstan. The talks between the two leaders focused on resolving the ongoing border disputes between India and China, particularly in the Ladakh region along the line of actual control. Now, during his meeting with Wang Yi, Jaishankar stressed the need for an early resolution of the remaining issues in border areas. Both ministers agreed to redouble efforts through diplomatic and military channels to find an early resolution to the remaining issues in the border areas. In fact, this has also been the top focus because remember, Prime Minister this time round has given the SCO a skip, which has also in fact sort of been a topic of discussion. But let's quickly go across to Abhishek to in fact deep dive into what this meeting has been. Abhishek, share the key takeaways of this because remember, we've seen multiple talks happen as far as military rounds of talks over the border dispute is concerned. But what is the sense that you are getting out of this recent meeting?
Well, this was one of the closest being watched meeting that people were waiting for that External Affairs Minister Jaishankar will be having with Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. And this meeting comes after a long gap in between. We had seen brief encounters of the two leaders during some multilateral events in Munich. There was during this Munich security dialogue also the two leaders had met, but for a few seconds, and most likely they did not discuss any serious issues. But this time they did talk. It was a proper sit-in. Both the ministers were accompanied by the senior officials of the respective ministry, and the two did talk about one of the most crucial and important issues, that was the border issue. And India said that complete disengagement is something that they are looking forward to, and probably until and unless that happens, the normalcy in the relationship is something that cannot be achieved. Also, India did talk about the aspect of peace and tranquility in the border areas. We know that thousands of troops on the both sides have been deployed and counter-deployed. There is heavy armory and heavy machines. The two armies have deployed along the LSC, and this is something that the two wanted to de-escalate, and this was also discussed during the meeting with the two leaders, and the two leaders also discussed about the mutual respect, mutual sensitivity, and mutual interest. This is something that we are seeing a first time that the two had discussed, because mostly in the last few years, India had been very firm on disengagement, and unless and until there is disengagement, the two have not expressed any desire to move forward on other issues. But this time it looks like they did talk about other issues also, like the mutual respect and mutual sensitivity and mutual interest.
And what is the sense you are getting? Because, you know, of late, we've seen very frosty relations happen. One of, in fact, the reasons being given by foreign policy analysts is also that Prime Minister himself has given a skip to SCO because of these frosty relations between New Delhi and Beijing. Not to forget the cartographic exercises that we've seen China and India both indulge in as far as Tibet is concerned, as far as Arunachal is concerned. But what is the sense that you're now getting? Is this going to be a welcoming step between Dr. Jaishankar and Wang Yi now that this meeting has happened?
Well, Akansha, it looks like very calibrated step from the Indian side, because not talking to your neighbor who is very mighty in terms of economic prowess and with whom you have multi-billion-dollar trade happening every year, and which is also increasing, is something that will not go a long way. So while the regular engagement with the leaders between the two countries is something that the two sides have felt necessary, at the same time, the two have also been very careful at the border issues. We have seen now reports where there has been reports that India is also planning to create multiple villages in the remotest part in the Arunachal Pradesh along the line of actual control, which the Chinese side have been doing for a very long time. Then in between there was also a report of India trying to rename certain geographical location in the Chinese part of Tibet. So these are the issues that will continue to go on, while parallelly how the workable relation can be maintained, how the trade, cultural relationship, engagements, travel, these are also issues which are holding a lot of people, a lot of interest between the two sides, and probably these are also issues that the two leaders talk this time.
And you know, Abhishek, interestingly, nothing has changed for Dr. Jaishankar because he still is sticking to his guns. Remember, he's always maintained that for healthier relations with China, it is important that normalcy and peace prevail along the borders. And that is also the big message that he's delivered to his Chinese counterpart. That is that respecting LAC is most essential. Many thanks to you, Abhishek, for bringing in all those inputs. And with that, in fact, we slip into a quick break. News and updates will follow on the other side.